Well, we had 5 last year.
No, we had 7.
They were all very good.
They were all very good, but yes, we had
will.
7.
We did a little different this year with the singing of the national anthem. We had auditions for that this year, a little bit different than we had in the past. So I will take your suggestion seriously, and I think we could look at that for next year.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Anything else? Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
That's it.
No, I think now we move back to our agenda under continued business. And the first thing I see here is school building projects, and I believe Mr. Venezia has an update on the batch for us.
Yes, first, I'd like to say that, as people I think are already aware, the Batchelder School received a preservation award from the Mass Historical Commission. On May 31st, there was an award ceremony in Boston. I think the Secretary of State, William Galvin, was present and gave out the award, and a number of representatives from North Reading were there. I believe Dr. Troughton was there, and in addition, Happy DeFranza, who is a member of the Historic District Commission, was there. Jane Swat was there, Scott Stimpson, and John DeSimone from the Elementary School Building Committee. And was Sean there, Sean Colleen? Yes. Sean Colleen was there, the principal of Batchelder School. Wayne Hardacre was there, and Charlie Hay, who was our architect from Tappe Associates, was there. And
Did you say Jane Swart? Because she's here.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah, Jane.
I
I
just
did.
want to make sure she got acknowledged.
Because I looked at it when I said it. And I'd like to say that Happy DeFranza was the initiative for this award. She applied for it, she contacted Dr. Troughton and myself. We wrote letters, she filed the application. I think it was a fairly lengthy application that she submitted. And there were 11 awards given out, and only 2 of them were for schools. And the batch was one of them. And that's a great picture over there of the
That is
entrance,
unbelievable.
the back entrance of the batch. It looks terrific. So again, we're all proud of the fact that we received this award, and we were recognized by the Mass Historical Commission. And again, I'd like to thank Happy for taking the initiative and submitting the application, and getting all of us to support it. And I want to thank the Elementary School Building Committee members again for the great job they did on that project. We are winding down, I think probably within a couple of months of closing this out, Jane? Is that right? Okay.
What's the deadline for?
Well, I think the deadline's 1 year after the, is it 1 year? Is there an actual deadline? I think 1 year after the completion of the school, we're supposed to close it out, so.
Is it the completion of the school, or is it when the kids enter it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at basically the first week in September,
September,
I'm
right,
not sure,
yeah.
but yeah, and again, I'm sure we're gonna have a meeting before that. I'd point out that there were a number of, as we mentioned the last time, a number of landscape improvements that had to be made as a result of the winter, and a lot of the trees and shrubs not making it through the winter. Some of that's already been done. I went down there today, and I was happy to see that some of the trees have been replaced, some of the shrubs have been replaced. It looks like there's still more work to do. Some of the grasses that were planted seem to be coming to life again. So it's coming along, and hopefully that for all of us, that's going to be wrapped up within the next couple of months.
Great, any questions? Next, we have secondary school building committee, and I actually referred earlier, I think Dr. Troughton has some news, or Steve has some news to talk about here.
Let David take it.
Okay, Dr. Troughton?
Right, we're gonna be visited this Friday by reps from the Mass School Building Authority. You may remember that we have submitted a statement of interests, and at this point, I believe over 200 statement of interests have been received across the state. But we've submitted one for the batch, the middle school, and the high school.
Most of them from us.
Yes, and there are 8 indicators that you need to identify whether or not the situation applies to you. And so MSBA has selected us to be sort of the benchmark community on indicator number 2, which is severe overcrowding. And they want to come out to North Reading to see what does it mean when a school district says this school needs attention because of severe overcrowding. And they're going to visit the middle school, the high school, and the Batchelder School. And then while they're here, I said, well, you need to also visit the little school and the hood school, because we've been dealing with that, and we're still dealing with it with modular classrooms. So that, I think, is a good sign, because we were recognized by MSBA as being a school district that has a problem with its facility, a number of problems, but severe overcrowding is one of them. And the deadline for submission of the statement of interest is coming up in July. And my understanding is that MSBA will come out and be doing assessments for facilities that have been identified under these statement of interest. And my hope is that, I understand that they're gonna be doing a pilot. That is, they're not gonna do all 200 at once. That's actually over 200. But they're gonna try to select some pilots. And my hope is that we're included in that pilot process. I don't know that yet, but I understand that they are going to select some pilots. And I'm hopeful that we will be able to make our case that we should be included. That, we're advocating for that. So we should know by the end of June, into early July, whether or not we will be in that first round.
And by pilot, you mean selected for funding or selected to begin the process?
No, not selecting to begin the process, not for funding.
Okay.
Well, if they say B-wing at the high school, that should be enough just to.
And how long of a, do you know how long of a process that would be once
I
people are
don't,
selected?
they haven't even revealed what that selection process would look like. They have apparently hired an outside team of not only architects, but people who can take the statement of interest and come in and put some evaluation to it.
Okay. That's good news. Steve?
And I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb and suggest that one of the reasons that we're being considered is because of the thoroughness of Dr. Troughton's work in all of this. The submission of the 3 statements of interest and the care with which they were put together, I think it augurs well for our system and our hopes for the future. So.
That goes without saying.
Hopes for the future.
Any questions? Okay, let's move on to item 3, reauthorization of SEAM Articles of Agreement. Dr. Troughton?
Yes, this is a standard practice. The SEAM Special Education Collaborative is a legal organization, and whenever there's a change to the agreement, there's a need to have each school committee of the member districts vote on it. So there are 2 changes, and the first one is on page 3. And I'll read it. The addition reads, the foregoing purpose includes the authority of the collaborative acting through its board of directors. And by the way, the board of directors would be the superintendent from each of the representative committees, communities. So acting through the board of directors to contract with corporations, individuals, association, agency, or any other entity in order to obtain and provide services for the member district. What that says is that the board of directors then has the authority to develop a contract that would be binding on SEAM, but it would be, again, up to the board of directors to vote on that, on such a contract. And the other one is,
Could we deal with that one first?
sure.
Because it was in the middle of a paragraph, I started at the beginning of the paragraph, and the sentence just before the new one, if you look at the very beginning of the 4th line, it says, be most effectively and economically be provided. One of those B's needs to be stricken. And then in the sentence that's being suggested, we have corporations, individuals,
Right,
association,
association, right.
agency.
Should be
I think
plural.
it should be associations, agencies, and any other entities in order just to be
Consistency.
consistent.
Yes.
Right. Where's the second B? Finish on it.
So the line starts, be most effectively and economically be provided.
That's above.
Yeah,
Above
it's
that.
a
first B.
sentence just before the foregoing.
Okay, that's it.
Sorry about that.
And the other,
Again, this is coming from the collaborative.
the other change is page 8, correct?
The other change is a longer change.
Right.
This speaks to, I believe the committee is aware of this, but each member district maintains what is called a trust fund. And so, for example, we host here in North Reading a SEAM collaborative program. Uses a room at the middle school and also uses services here at the middle school. As a result, there's a small amount of money that is generated, I don't want to call it a sort of a payment, and that payment is deposited in the trust fund. What this paragraph says is, it specifies how that trust fund can be used, and it must be used specifically to deal with special education programs. But I'll read it. In the event that a member district's payment to the collaborative for services and programs have not been fully utilized by the collaborative, then such funds may be deposited in a district account held by the collaborative separately for that district. The funds in the district account may be expended by the collaborative when directed to do so by the district, subject to the following two limitations. One, the funds have been used for educational purposes. Educational purposes may include equipment, personnel, supplies, etc., used by a member school district in conducting its educational programs or in paying for services provided by the collaborative to the member school district. That would be like tuitions. And two, the funds may not be expended if the expenditure could be construed as an attempt on the part of the school district to circumvent certain laws or regulations.
That doesn't actually say that the money has to be spent on special education purposes.
It doesn't. The practice, that actually is the legal basis for holding the trust funds.
Yeah.
I can tell you that North Reading only will spend those funds for special education.
And the second part of that suggests that there's been a problem of some sort that you're trying to address.
A number of years ago, there were not in North Reading, another community. And from time to time, the question is raised about the amount of money in that trust fund. Our practice in North Reading is to zero or come close to zeroing it out. We hold it, again, I think Carl, I usually report this to Carl from the board meeting, but, so for example, due to North Reading, and this was as of April 30th, was $3,545.02. But there are other trust funds in other communities that are, many times higher. So it's clarifying for all member districts the purpose of that trust fund, so that there's no question about it.
Any questions? I have a motion to approve the SEAM collaborative agreement
So,
as amended.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, fiscal '08 budget.
Do you have to do the school choice vote? Or do we do that?
Oh, yeah, school choice. Well, no. I guess we can do that, yeah, let's do the school choice, and then move to the fiscal budget. Historically, in North Reading, we have not approved the school choice program. And David, I don't know if you have anything to comment on this. Last year, the motion approved by the committee included to not participate in school choice because the program as it is presently constructed ensures that the needs of some of the children of the Commonwealth cannot be met.
I'd like to make that same motion again this year. I'm not sure if I made it last year, but I
You
have.
always
to.
make it.
You always make it. I think-
Someone else
I think
did it one
traditionally-
year.
I